Hi guys, I'll be there in a second. Just give me your name, where you're from, and let's start. Okay, let me give you some music in the meantime. Here we go. Hi, Savi. You want to say hi to everybody? That's so sweet. Let's grab a coffee. Huh? Let's grab a coffee. You're showing too much. Yes, come here. Come here. Come here. Let's grab a milk for you and coffee for mommy. Okay? You want a milk? You want a milky? Here. Hi everybody, hello. How much longer is this music? Hi mods, let's gonna give a clap to the mods. They're awesome, they always help. I greatly appreciate. Hi Barbie, hi Dean. I hope that Lati and Palladian will show up later. Let's see who's else. Here, Branka, nice to see you from Greece. Oh my gosh, lovely place. Oh, like broke up with your twin. I actually do not, so hopefully mods will tell you, I don't do personal readings on these lives because I might in the future, like for $5 or $10 or something, but for now you can get the reading directly with me, or you can actually ask for student readings for some of the students that are around. Hi CBI Hill, that's great to see you here again, and thank you very much for your notes. Elian Watt, Scotland. Hey, nice to see you. What did I do? I was just like, oh yes, I was watching Sex and the City and Scottish Wedding recently. I know it was something in my life. Heidi, Carmen, Sylvia, Van Gelder, Tana, Heidi, John, Brooklyn, Ikha, Malaysia. Nice to see you. Christina. Temperance Rising, did you change your avatar? Kind of like, it's kind of different. And Christina, Dean, I said, Miss Sonia, where are you? LA, you're like up early. Oh my gosh, I was really sleeping and sleeping. Hi Sally, and sleeping this week. It was like really weird. And the migraine, it was like really a mess. Daniela, Lotus Love, Kimberly, Dion. So, and yes, please guys, click like, I really appreciate this, and share. And if you can, hi Heidi, if you can, then later we can stamp for everybody to know just the elements. Energy has been really crazy this week. How was your week, guys? Oh my gosh, like for 2 days I was in bed, flattened down with migraine, and sleeping really helped. But like right now, it looks like that sleeping is just like all I do kind of a thing, right? Just like today I woke up at 10. It's like, oh my gosh, I lost all Lotus Love. Yes, insomnia. I used to have that for about 3 years until this week, and now I'm just sleeping, and this actually even feels worse, to be honest. Yeah, Exhausted is the word. Just exhausted. And plus, I'm doing this twin flames. Did you guys check those twin flames readings? Like, did you like it? That's heavy. Oh my gosh, the energy that goes through me, it is ridiculous. It's kind of like ridiculous. Plus, we have kind of like a rainy day over here in Toronto. So, I guess it's going to be sleepy day, another one. So, I wanted to hide in bed all week. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt yesterday. It was 9 o'clock, and actually I just finished my work, and I was like, okay, let's see the movie, let's see something. And the next thing you know, kind of like, oh, no, let's go and sleep. So that's kind of how it was. Oh, thank you, Temperance. I'm glad that you like this. So it looks like reception is pretty good. You guys are helping. You're kind of like resonating. So hopefully it's going to help with healing. And so then I will continue. Oh, stardust in my lungs. That's kind of different. Is this kind of like something you want to cough out? You want to sleep. Okay. Let's go. Which element do we go with today first? Let me grab another deck over here. Another deck. There we go. For many questions. And like Dean was like the only mod that showed up on my, when was it, Thursday, Dean? Like, oh my gosh, I was exhausted. I couldn't even carry live. I kind of promised, and I said, that's it. I deleted later. I think only 9 people showed up anyway. Everybody was sleeping. Okay, Sally. Well, let me see. I don't know. For you, somehow, look at this. I see water, I see fire, I see air, fire, earth. You know what? We didn't do fire in a long time as first. So let's do fire. Woo. I'm getting the devil. Oh, the Hierophant. Something about the marriage. Something about the interference to possibly marriage or to some kind of like rules. Somebody is like definitely kind of like saying my way or the highway. It's kind of like really interesting because both of them having their hand raised, like he is raised in benediction, and this is definitely, you know, I owe you kind of a thing. I really don't like, I don't know, is it kind of like chasing devils? That's kind of like a really different combination. Oh my gosh, Dean, you too. Oh gosh, that was horrible. I'm so sorry. I was like, oh my gosh, I have no energy. But you fire guys, none of this is fire, right? Capricorn and Taurus, this is kind of very earth energy. Something has been happening sort of like in the family, with purchases, at work. Somebody maybe was digging something under your feet. That's the devil always to me talks about excess, talks about something like that coming through. And it's kind of like really, really weird. Like these chains also talks about different dependencies, right? It can be drugs, of course. And yay, Canada, it's not going to change anything for me because I don't use pot. I tried to use CBD for my anxieties, which is kind of like non-active part of marijuana. But even that kind of like takes me down as well. So, by the way, it is legal in Canada. It's going to be out for purchase, I think, mid-October. And I don't look forward to it because I live in an apartment building and I can just imagine how smelly this is going to be, and I cannot stand that smell. And that kind of like remind me of this card because this is kind of like nobody sees anything problematic. Nobody sees how they affect the other people with their basically actions. But somebody's going to straighten this out, but literally because this card came second, I think it's going to be chasing of the devil out, literally, sorry. I don't really believe there is such a thing as devil. I really think this is kind of like more or less our demons, and somebody kind of like maybe getting more strict. Maybe somebody is going to put a leash on somebody. It's going to be really interesting, very interesting. Really interesting. Page of Swords. Somebody wants to get some kind of truth. You see, the swords are not really liked. And this kind of like would be a little Aquarius, a young Aquarius. So I can tell you about that. It's somebody who's asking way too many questions, who is getting on everybody's nerves. But this is also a situation where, for example, I'm not saying this is what happened. This actually really could be releasing demons and putting an end to it. But this can be like really asking all these questions. Like, let's say somebody cheats and you want to know everything, every detail, and people think that will help them. Actually, it usually backfires, right, Safi? And this is kind of like not a really nice way of asking it. It's kind of like almost like demand without really caring about other person's, hi Joanna, time or ability. It's kind of like really weird, because finding something uncomfortable is really difficult for all of us. But you know, sometimes the person who did the deed is also feeling very guilty, like sort of like one person feels humiliated, another one really feels guilty. And trust me, these two kind of like feelings could be exactly the same. And it's not working out like in the movies that that person who did the deed is going to just like now relent and I'm so sorry and this and that. It actually works usually that the person who did it always finds excuse to why I did it. I was not feeling appreciated and so on and so forth. So it is kind of like really weird dynamics that usually it's the person who got cheated on. And I know it's kind of like really weird, but this is the only way I find it works. Has to acknowledge things that have been going wrong in order to start moving forward. It is kind of like really, really weird. Hi Heidi, nice to see you. This is really weird. Look at that, 1111. This is not about making a wish. There is some kind of like angel, so let's see what they say. Let's see. Look at that. No, some truth will be coming out. Holy smoke. There's going to be something. Somebody's going to ask questions. Oh my god. You see what I was saying? Somebody has to get it. But here, one person, whether this is a fighter or the other person, is not going to get it. You see, Page of Swords is like a very young energy, like where you just ask questions. It's almost like yelling at somebody in agony, and you're asking questions, you better tell me this now, blah, blah, which is not constructive to resolve anything. Knight of Swords is like more like determined, like there is no mature thing. Like you know which questions to ask. You know where you're going, but look at that. It's kind of like determination. I'm going in this battle and I'm going to win it. It is kind of like really, really, really important. And what's going on here with my thing over here? It's just like my right hand side disappeared, and I don't even know honestly how to remove this right hand side. That's why it's there. This energy of Six of Swords reversed. You see, this is the card which kind of like does relate to the devil. They're both six energy. Six energy is understanding love energy. And I think this is what 1111 was telling us in this situation. Hi Lati, I was mentioning, I hope to see you here. But we're not seeing Palladian Tarot. I think she betrayed us, but that's okay. We can handle it. Too bad. But I'm just kidding. The Six of Swords talks about bridge over troubled waters. And it's somebody who is kind of going away from a bad situation. Maybe, you see, if that was this combination, I would say you're going to get your answers, you're going to speak your truth, and you'll be gone. But no, you are still going to kind of go back over some old issues. You're going to go back to something that was maybe an elephant in the room, maybe going back, discussing these devil issues. But then I think this person that you're talking to is not going to be receptive, or you're not recepting. I don't really like the Tower reversed. You see, the Tower talks about, hi Center, Tower talks about kind of like something has to be restored. Something was not built properly. You're actually putting building blocks. Remember how I was telling you, you need to acknowledge what you need to do, and it feels horrible because of course the person has only their own perspective. That's why the Hanged Man card is really good, because it says you're going to see somebody else's perspective. But here you just don't get it. You're completely clueless about anything that has been done wrong. And it is really hard, and I don't know how many of you had issues with human resources, because I was younger and I was this Page of Swords. I was always thought, oh, you said something wrong. It's like, what? Why? And it was kind of really hard because you're carrying the truth, you're kind of doing this, that somebody really tells you you're wrong about it. So this kind of like Tower talks about it. You're building something on something that is unsustainable. It's like somebody planning to build houses in the sky. And yeah, like great idea, but you know, how do we sell that real estate in the sky, and where is the kind of like base on it? Like, how do we deal with the gravity? Sort of like, that's not a good energy. Now this is going to be week to, wow, this is going to be a week for fire. Mind you, we are going into water. And happy birthdays to everybody who is Cancer. I think Dean is Cancer, so happy birthday. So water energy is not a nice place for you to be, because you're go, and water is like more mellow and more kind of like, let's go kind of like slow and go with the flow. And you are like, we're actually increasing your energy. First you're going to go down, and then you're going to go really up. It's going to be really interesting. So Dean, when is your birthday? When is your birthday, so we can be on the lookout for it? We can send you flowers. I'm just kidding. I don't like killing flowers. So what we are going to do right now is going to check Aries. What is Aries? Huh. Again, I have like this issue that there is like somebody else lingering there. I'm gonna get one more for Aries. Let me get one more. Oh, you're like the 14th. The fourth cycle, this is like third decan. You're the worst Cancers in the third decan. Oh my gosh. You're sappy and emotional. And you know, like you're like the biggest kind of like puppies around. Oh my gosh, Aries, what's going on? You're really feeling that somebody really pull the rug under your feet, and for Aries this is really hard. Like, look at this, Three of Cups. To me, this is like the happiest card in a deck when it is upright. This card always to me tells me about friendships and tells me about kind of understanding of each other. Even if there is a loved one, you still kind of like have a friendship. Keep in mind, this also can be seen in the work, kind of like, I'm just seeing it now, situation that there are certain things from the past and maybe something hasn't been done properly, and that's going to be addressed. Just keep that in mind. Now, somebody who you thought was a friend, no, look what's going to do, to you. 10 stabs. Maybe you're just going to find out. Libra, yeah, Libra does help, that's for sure. Look at this. Now, what is really interesting, look at his hands. He is raising these hands in benediction here, which is kind of like connecting these two cards. And some kind of rules, or maybe marriage or something, has been really broken over here. Has been, you're bleeding. You're literally bleeding, or maybe you're even bled out. And red is also your color. And you're kind of like, you're seeing way too much red this week. Note to myself, my brother is on vacation. Do not call him. Do not call him. That's kind of like a thing. Aries, good news in this, the worst will be over. You kind of like are really experienced this tower moment. You have been building something that just couldn't grow. And it came to you as a shock. And you really feel that somebody really did something behind your back. You really feel let down big times. But at the same time, this is not necessarily bad card. I hate more 9 of Swords, because this card is telling, you know what, we kind of like, now no, the worst is over. Now actually the day is going to come and we will start moving forward. It's kind of like really, and like interestingly, we see the snow, and the snow is going to bring this kind of clarity and gentleness to kind of like the whole process. And you're going to get pure again. Looks like, and like looking, observing my my brother, like it's going to be like one of those verbal bursts out, and then okay, so let's see what we need to handle. Hey, hi Mary Turquoise, missed you too. This will be a Leo that is coming out. Leo, what's going on here? Am I like having this deck all reversed? No, it's all good. 9 of Cups and 2 of Wands. You're going to feel unhappy. I'm really sorry to say this, Leo. Something that you really wish for, you're going to realize it's kind of like not sustainable. You kind of like are realizing that maybe certain things that used to make you happy are not making you happy. I guess nobody's going to be happy, quite frankly, from all these fire signs in this situation where you keep coming back to some situations that have been painful or have been kind of like really tricky to approach. Because this is saying, Leo, you're saying, well, I don't know really how to move forward. I really don't know what to do. Like, you see, this is the world that you want to build for yourself. But you're saying, like, right now, just leave me alone. Right now, I just don't know what to do. I am unhappy. I have to stabilize. Sort of like there is like a decision that is brewing, but you're not going to reach the decision yet. It's not devastation for sure, but it's sort of like, you know, this disappointment. I think that's the word. It's going to be like the way I was disappointed when I didn't win $60 million a couple of weeks. But no, this is kind of like more of an emotional kind where it's kind of like leaving you wonder. It's leaving you kind of like wonder about some situation, possibly in a relationship, possibly in a marriage, possibly at work. So let's see, Sagittarius. Hopefully, Saggies. Well, mind you, Saggies are always like Gemini, happy-go-lucky, and they sometimes, like, honestly have these issues of getting it, but that's kind of like what goes with the Jupiter, and it's kind of like interesting. So Saggies. Saggies have this guarded energy. Very guarded. Look at the walls. Why are the walls over there, Saggies? What's going on here with understanding? Like, you kind of like feel, look, where I am, I'm good where I am, just leave me with this. But look at this heart being protected. It's going to be possibly something at work. It could be something where you really don't want to discuss certain things. It is kind of interesting because he does have the crown, and what I really like is that he has this kind of little rosetta coming through it. So there is like some kind of sense that Sagittarians will kind of like sense things this week. They're going to be able to kind of like see the lay of the land, but nonetheless, you're not going to be able to squeeze anything about it. And these cards are jumping here. Whoa, there I go. There is the sense of rejection. And a King of Rods reverse is, it could be them or it could be another fire sign. Generally, I think this represents Leo. I don't know, like, I mean, what's going to happen. Again, this is the third party. Definitely, this is the third party card. And somebody is really guarded. As I was saying, Sagittarians, and I don't know who is here in fire. Whatever happened, if you think you're wronged, I think the best attitude this week is going to be, even though if you were 95% right, another person 95% wrong, kind of look into where you were wrong. Maybe that's all it's going to take to open this conversation, because somebody here feels sort of like manipulated. Somebody really feels heartbroken over here, and hence that's the guarding kind of like attitude. Or maybe you, Saggies, are trying to manipulate. This is not typically Sagittarian's way, but I really don't like it. Like, especially these two cards. Oh boy, I really want to get rid of this fire from the table. Guys, you're not going to have a good time. Let me just pull one card as advice for all fire, because you're going to go through something major. Absolutely every single one of you fire. Let me see the advice for fire. Advice for fire. Advice for fire. Movement. Let me read this one for you. And it's 28 on top of that, so yes, absolutely, it's a movement. And this is what it says: you're in a time of a forward motion. So this is a time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. You're in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. And yes, For fire, activity is always the best, always the best. So I really think, you see, kind of like lift off, kind of, you're sort of like going to all your fire signs reclaim yourself. So yeah, kind of like do something. It says regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form, and doors that have been previously shut begin to open as if by magic. Also, movement is a state of mind. The fog lifts, and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't a time for fear. Let it go and move forward. Yeah, I think let it go is sort of like what I see here. Kind of discuss it, acknowledge it, yell it, and that's it. Don't even really look back anymore. It's kind of like probably going to be the best advice going forward. Okay. Who is next? Who is next? Who is next? Which element we go next? I'm terrified now when we open it up with something so strong. What's going to be with this week? What's going to be? And we are really approaching this holidays. We are approaching, I think, 1st of July. How many of you know this is Canada Day? And then we have the 4th of July. That our neighbors down south, Americans, who think that we are smuggling shoes, celebrating. So there's going to be lots of shoe smuggling. And then, I don't know like about the other countries, but if you are in a different country that has a holiday soon, let me know. Air, air, air. I see air. Okay, let's go with the air. Let's see what's with the air, because usually air is also very right in your face, and it's going to be really interesting to see air reading now after this one. Okay, air. Oh my gosh, really like this little community and us discussing in the morning over the coffee. Kind of like, okay, let me just have a sip of coffee. Let's just for a second just clean this cards. Who else is having a coffee? Who else is having a coffee? This feels so good. It's going to keep me awake for a few hours. Okay, air for this week. Let's see what's with air. Air. Sally, do you know what would be fun if we can all be in the same room and just like have this like face to face? And of course not in the morning when my hair is all over. I don't know, just can I have a swords kind of flicked? And this is really typical for air. So I told you I was feeling it. Air and fire, usually when one is turbulent, another one is turbulent as well. But I might be completely wrong on this, and I'll really be happy that I'm wrong on this one. What is for the air for this week? And I am so wrong on this one. Actually, because air was kind of difficult last week. Okay, well, this is kind of interesting. We have Knight of Swords, Four of Wands, Page of Pentacles, the Empress, Queen of Swords, and Four of Cups. And something had to kind of like taint it, right? So we also are sort of like, this is not so much discussion, but it could be. I really think, especially this is talking about both men and women. So if you have a man over here who are air sign, it's going to be, and Lati caught me saying this. I didn't realize I was saying this, but I was just about to say it. Go. So I just like realized, yeah, actually I do say that. It's going to be lots of action. It's going to be lots of discussion. It's going to be lots of things moving forward. Oh my gosh. And something that can be really long term. This is going to be really, actually fire. If you need somebody to help you in the situation, the air is going to be really good. Air is going to really feel good in their own element. The Empress is also very much Libra, right? And the Queen of Swords can be Libra, right? So we see kind of like a whole bunch of things. And the Knight of Swords, it's, I don't know, Gemini, I guess. Even though the court cards are more or less really singing to me more the element than actually a sign. But the Empress is talking about this kind of like really energy. This is a mother, a creator. So it's kind of that energy. We might kind of like be a counsel to somebody. We kind of like really will feel growing and comfortable in our own skin, maybe starting new creative projects. I actually was waiting for this card to show up together with the world for me to start with new series, and that's when I did it. That's kind of like usually really good time, and that's how my twin flame was born, because then I had everything done properly. There is like something that is kind of like placing seeds that have been done in the past that right now is coming to the fore. It's kind of like also realizing, okay, this stays, this goes, you know, like when you're kind of like doing stuff and maybe you are overdoing certain things, maybe we are going to catch ourselves in that and kind of minimize it. Not quite sure why this is here, but given that we have 2 4s and the Empress, it's going to be really weak of stabilization. I kind of like have really divided feelings about this card, and you tell me, guys, you know, what you think. Is this guy saying, you know, do you want a coffee? Nope. Well, would you like this coffee with, you know, with milk? No. How about a nice pretty latte? No, kind of like getting. And how about this special super duper, you know, with a whipped cream and Hello Kitty on the top and served on a kind of like in a golden chalice? No, not even looking at it. So is this person really too much? Is this kind of like a touch of a depression? Is this person kind of like looking down at the losses and kind of like trying to protect and stabilize emotionally? Or is this person really still waiting for something really right for them, right? And of course, can have this both sides. To be honest, if I have to pick one of those, I will just go with somebody here is kind of like being impossible. So don't, if we get into this mood, we really need to snap. That's a good thing about the air, that we can snap out. So let's go, Gemini. And Gemini now, this month, is going to be a month where they will be tired, where there will be, like usually, I notice this, like, because when you have your birthday month, the month before is like almost like expectations, but sort of like really kind of like finality, and you're kind of getting tired month before, but month after, oh boy, like just like leave me to sleep. So Taurus was suffering through the month of June up to now, and now it's going to be Gemini time to kind of like really spend some really time to relax. Okay, Gemini. Any other Geminis that Lottie? And there you go. You have the Page of Swords reversed. Who is spying? What's going on here? Oh my gosh, somebody is lying. Somebody's not telling the truth. Because this can be, like, I mean, also lying by omission. Are you guys going to, because that's kind of Gemini energy, are you guys going to really be in somebody's face and tell them about this? Or is there somebody in your life? What do you think, Safi? Really? They're going to clarify this? Okay, you heard it. Hi, Safi. Hi, Safi. I don't know. Geminis, are you kind of like trying to get to the bottom of something? She is definitely a lucky charm. And to me, this is always a stalking energy. This is always social media. And I don't know, doesn't have to be stalking necessarily. Social media, you just click on somebody, you check them out, are they still working in the same place, you know what's going on, what they're up to. But this really tells me that maybe something will be discovered this way, that maybe you're going to bring to somebody's attention. And this kind of like really makes sense. It's actually not going to be bad. Generally, I would not like this combination of the cards, but given that there is like a background over here of this backdrop of really good cards, this is kind of like done because you usually, okay, I always tell to my clients, look, if you're not interested in someone, you're just not discussing it. So you just like walk away. Once when you start discussing, you're interested. So obviously you're interested in something to continue when you're kind of like bringing this and saying, look, and I've noticed this, I'm not stupid, I know, and I just like I'm letting you know that I will not tolerate this in the future. That kind of like a stuffy over here, right? So that's what's going to happen, right? So yeah, that's kind of like a tension Aquarius style. This is going to be sort of like that Aquarian energy that I was explaining in the fire reading, but it can be really, really harsh. And we air, trust me, and I don't know, guys, how much you know air, we really can be the sweetest people around, even though we are represented with swords. But the moment when you lie to us, the moment when you betray us, you're seeing the worst possible dragon. Okay, maybe it's not the best energy, tornado. Like the windows are flying, like yelling, screaming, you just like go for shelter. It doesn't last for long, but it's enough to kind of be very destructive. So, right? So, okay, so then we are talking about who's next. Libra. We have a Page of Rods, and you have the Strength reversed. This is kind of really interesting. You're having this fire energy, Libra. So, for some, because like you guys, Gemini, are staying in your kind of like in your vibration. It's a very high vibration the whole week. But the Libra vibration is sort of a little bit lower, but it's sort of like on a sense you're going out, you're taking dates, you're taking places, but this is a non-committal energy to me. The Strength reverse, Strength upright always talks to me about commitment, always. And it is more or less understanding ourselves, and when we do that, we understand the others. But when the Strength reverses, it also can indicate anger, but it also can indicate very much, I don't even want to talk about it. Sort of like it is a huge manipulation of the situation. And I think it's going to be you. And I think it's going to be done for a reason, that you're not letting things come in a way. And I think now, seeing this card, this is probably you, that you're going to be really disappointed with someone or something. But, you know, it's not going to really stop you of having actually a really good week. It's kind of like, sort of like, it's going to be fire in the air, that's for sure. But Page of Rods is a really good thing, because these two pages combined could actually really mean kind of not only planning and planting seeds, but actually really working on something or on somebody. Maybe you're kind of like reaching this understanding, almost like it can look this way. And you guys, Libras, I don't know if you're here, correct me, that you don't want to commit, because this is the commitment card going to the next level. But maybe you're saying, look, it's either going to be this way that this is productive, or it's not going to be at all. Sort of like one of those things, because after all, you're holding the sword, you're showing the hand to say, okay, reach me, like, let's see where we can meet. Hey, you don't want it? Too bad. Oh boy, let's see Aquarians. 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 You see, Dean, my eyes are so bad, and I didn't read POF, I heard PDF. I was like, what, a PDF account? Why do you need a PDF file for that? Aquarians. Ah, there we go. There is a romantic manipulator, and that is definitely Aquarians. Kind of coming through it. Oh my gosh, look at that. We have the repetition. Aquarians had somebody who they really wanted to go to the next level. Somebody who made them feel like $1 million. But none of these promises have been sustainable. None of these promises came to fruition. And they just couldn't be built because something happened that almost like was day-to-day kind of a thing. Something just did not grow. I think Aquarians are very kind of disappointed about that. But at the same time, maybe this is one of those last call, let's think about it, let's work it through, let's come to that inner truth, and let's move forward. Because the cards overall are very positive, and I sort of like don't have much to say, but like this is more or less like what the Queen of Cords, Queen of, oh my gosh, Queen of Cords, that would actually make sense. Queen of Swords, she kind of like has this cutting energy, being to the point, just like a Knight of Swords, so piercing you with the truth. So beware of Gemini if you wrong them this week. But with Aquarians, they're going to have kind of like energy to themselves. So now I can explain my like prolonged sleeping over here, and kind of like, okay, wait a minute. I am not putting my life on hold, because that's exactly what was happening. Somebody was waiting for somebody to come through. So this is kind of like really resonating, not for Libra, but not for Gemini, but more or less for Libra and Aquarians. And it's kind of like a let go energy. I need to kind of like leave, and I need to heal, right? It's kind of like that 11 energy over here. Very interesting. So air is going to be kind of interesting. Air is like really stabilizing, really coming to themselves, really kind of like understanding like a whole bunch of aspects of life, of relationships, of everything. So who's next? Who is next? I don't need to get suiting card here for air, because it really never works for air. Like, I mean, air is like really motivated with getting to the bottom of the things and understanding, unless you really want me. So let me see. Earth, let's do Earth. Earth. I had 2 Earth calls. Well, not tolerating emotional manipulation, yes, but how do you know? Sometimes you get sucked in over that, right? So people do that all the time. So let me just shuffle these cards a little bit. Earth. How many Earth signs do we have here? And guys, it is like sun sign. It is like your ascendant. In the bottom of this reading, you have, I think, how to get the natal chart. I think some of the mods can actually pull it up. And also moon sign is really good to check. And if you didn't check your annual reading, I think I also placed it down under, so you actually do have the link to it. So Earth, what is with the Earth for this week? Huh, that is weird. What is with Earth this week? What is with the soulmate energy this week? Earth. You guys are starting week in a really kind of like weird way. You have like 3 of Swords, you have 6 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, and 7 of Pentacles. So I don't understand, what is this rejection? Maybe you're rejected or have been rejected in the past, or maybe you're memorizing this person. Actually, when is the Mercury retrograde coming up? Because this kind of like usually gives me this Mercury retrograde thing, when people kind of like dance like the Dean is just saying. I just like looked up, and but sort of like you're involved into kind of like the thinking about something or somebody from the past, something that really worked. And this can actually go all the way back to us being kids, to us being teenagers, or it might be just simply troubles with the kids. I don't know, like how this really looks. It almost like looks to me that somebody from the past might actually call, might appear, because this is after all communication. And you're going to sort of like start feeling this old kind of nostalgia that you had, and maybe it's going to start evolving into some kind of like mini celebration and friendship. But very soon, being that you're Earth, being that you guys really value things, it has to be shown as well. You see, fire is kind of like all action, but here like you need kind of like some different manifestation about that. So this kind of card is really interesting, because we have this merchant scale over here. Somebody here is doing the right thing and not really giving on without kind of like limits, kind of like really measuring how much to give. So maybe last time you jumped into that, you know, sink, line, and hook, like, I mean, hook, line, and sinker, but this time, no, you're kind of guarded. You're kind of like really debating if this can work or should it work. Maybe somebody here is actually involved with somebody else. I can see that as well. And there is like maybe the sense of geez, you know, how do I go about that? Or this also can talk about life and, you know, love, balance. Maybe somebody's working too much. Maybe you guys didn't really look in your emotions, and now there is like the circumstances, because look at this earth that you're coming into this. And I have to tell you something, you guys are getting really horny this week, and almost like a good sex is kind of like what doctor would order this week, because you're kind of like really wondering in which direction to go. You are sort of like really thinking, okay, you know what, I still want to try, but I'm really kind of alert about all of these things. Nothing wrong about enjoying yourself, guys, if that's what you want. It's going to be a really good week generally, but it's going to wake up something in you, something that has been really hurting, something that really was rejection. Maybe you rejected somebody, maybe somebody rejected you. It's kind of interesting, you have like 2 3s and you have 2 6s, right, which is sort of like this, and then you have like this 9 9 9 kind of combination over here. Like you, it's like, you know, sometimes the exes appear like years later, and it's kind of like almost like a revolving door. They come in to say hi. You kind of get that justification, or you get the answers that maybe you were seeking for years after the breakup, and then they're simply out just like that. I'm just telling you, this time around, Earth, you are not crazy. You are just really moderating how much you're getting engaged and involved into this. And you're saying, well, this giving and taking has to be in balance, because if it isn't, I just really have to figure out if I want to do that. But let's kind of like observe this. That's going to be really interesting. So which one, Lottie and Dean, are we going to have some kind of like wedding bells over there? That will be kind of like really interesting. I know you're in the same country, but what's up, Sophie? You really like, I actually kind of funny. Last night I had this conversation with her, so you can just realize how dumb I am. I'm talking to the cat and saying, are you going to show up on the live reading? And she is showing up. So do you understand, human? I can tell. Why don't you go and check on the birds? Go and check on the birds. We have a bird's nest. We have bird's nest, and she is only having a glass between her and little baby birds. Okay, so let me just see. Okay, can we just do this for Earth? Do you love Earth? Not much? Why? What? Somebody wronged you? I think Matrix is Taurus, and I think that's means that she might be pissed off with Matrix. Are you? Oh, too bad. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let's move off the table. Let's move off the table. You're bringing luck. That's right. What are you doing? Okay, she wants to be present. That's fine. That's fine. Like, look at this. I don't know if you can see. The table is full of her little kind of like steps. So, yeah, Safi's checking on everybody. So, let's see. Let's see. The first earth sign is Taurus. Let's check Taurus. Yes, let's check. Why are you pissed off with Matrix? Oh my gosh. Taurus. Did you reject Matrix? What did you do? What did you do? This again, look at this. This is coming out again. You guys are going to, you know what? You guys are going to get angry. Taurus is not going to spare words in this period. And this is actually good. You're getting this Page of Swords upright. So somebody wronged you, and you are able to vocalize this. Getting angry after being hurt is extremely positive sign. That means you're just like this close to being over. It's just close to that stuff. So you guys are going through this memory lane. This definitely is a huge Mercury retrograde moment over here. It's kind of like, but Mercury retrograde with big dose of maturity. You guys speaking your kind of like, you're speaking your truth. Whether this is face to face with somebody, or in the mirror where you're telling somebody else, or writing a letter, you definitely are. You're kind of clearing somebody hurt you, somebody rejected you. It could be the third party that was involved in the situation, and it's just like, you're just saying, listen, I'm not wasting my life. It's kind of like you're getting on the point. Your energy is going to be very high. So this week, you know, you'll really have to do lots of grounding, like really touch plants, eat vegetables in order kind of like to actually be able to function this entire week. Otherwise, Taurus, you're going to have really high energy. You might get really, really tired with this energy. So that's kind of interesting. You know what, Marina? My cats wake me up differently. Both of them stretch their paws and touch my face in the morning. But Matrix is super gentle. He's never going to put the nails out. He just like touches me with this like kind of fluffy paw. But not this one. She just like put the nails and like right on my mouth. It's like, oh my god, that hurts, that hurts. So I hope this helps with Taurus. It's funny, Lati. Dean. So let me just check. The next one here would be Virgo. What is here for Virgo? What do we have for Virgos? Virgos, 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 Virgos. Oh boy. Everybody's going up in the air. So I think you're kind of grounding yourself from something. You guys, Virgos, also have to be betrayed. There has been lots of arguing and like you are tired and fed up, and I think you are the ones who kind of like have been blindsided. Certain things have happened that kind of like really left you with a sense of a loss. But you actually on a recovery mode. This is also anger. This also means moving forward. It's also very, very high energy. The same advice as for the Taurus. You guys really, really, really have to be able to ground yourself, eat lots of vegetables, spend lots of times outside, get your D vitamin from the sun. Otherwise, you will get exhausted so quickly over here in the situation. And here we have Capricorn. Wow. And there we have like this one also wants to come out. Capricorn is definitely healing, but Capricorn is still having the sense of something is missing, and they're still going in their past. They're still kind of like digging things from the past. The World card is not a great place to be, but the Star is a really good place to be. So it's going to be sort of like a very neutral energy. So this person, unlike in Rider-Waite deck, is actually looking at this cup. Something is suddenly appearing, like he's not or she's not protecting the heart chakra. You see, look, even though this is a cup card, look at how lush it is. So it's very much Earth to me, trying to kind of like need some kind of like find some kind of balance in the situation. This is kind of like really a card of trying to understand yourself. This kind of like really relates to me to this card with you assessing what you did in the past. It looks like you really spend lots of time healing, lots of time kind of like really trying to figure out how to rebuild yourself. Hope was really hard for you to find, and you did it. And now not only did you find it, but you sort of like generated a whole bunch of circumstances that sort of like now it's coming back to you. Just don't get stuck in the past, because you're already moving forward. So do not let this take you back to the circumstances that you actually try to run away from and try to kind of overcome. So memory lane, try to snap yourself out, stand up, raise your arms, just interrupt. Usually there is like an NLP, that pattern interruption, and you need to do it each time when you start looking that, you know, that trigger points are going in a direction it's not going to be kind of like really good for you. So I need to take a card for advice for Earth, because also it's going to be lots of things to deal with. See, like actually Capricorn has also air energy, but not as much, because like they have actually this ground much more than the other two. So let me just say general message for Earth. I've been strongly evaluating myself, acknowledging my flaws. I want to work on myself. Yeah, you know what? Like most people don't really understand. Like, I mean, this is really, really needed. And, you know, that's actually huge. That's really huge. So, Details, details. Oh boy, this is like so Earth, and this is like so Virgo that I'm seeing here. Safi, I know I invited you, and I think I'm rude. I didn't really think you understand human when I was talking to you, but you do, and now I'm feeling guilty. Come. So details, details. The most powerful patterns are created within the tiniest details. Pay attention. This is the time to be aware of the fine print in all areas of your life. Look at the details and leave the broad strokes for another time. When this card appears in a reading, it is a sign to finesse a project, make small but meaningful gestures, or add a personal touch to your correspondence. Be aware that what you need lies in the details. If you're entering into an agreement of any kind, pay attention to them before, not after, when it's too late. Clarity and transparency. Oh my gosh, that's what I see. Clarity and transparency in all of you are key. You can gain understanding by observing the minute body language, offhand remarks, and fleeting facial expressions that reveal the larger picture. And you know, like when I study people, I just don't really listen to what they do and what they say. I also sort of like look who are their friends, who are they involved with, because this gives me immense amount of information about how they really process life and what is really, really important for them. So that's kind of like interesting. So you guys, obviously there is this ground. The details are very important for you, and maybe some detail from the past is kind of like going to actually turn you into more kind of like mature direction. Okay, so Safi arranged the table. So which one is the last? Which one is the last? We did air, we did fire, we did earth, and we are doing water. It was not such a bad reading. Thank you. Water. Okay, how many water people do we have here? How many water people do we have? Water, water, water. And thank you everybody for being here. Again, get your private reading from my website, all in, and student readings are great. They already started with the first or even second round of questions, so it's also something kind of like if you really want, let them practice, but I supervise all of these readings. Water. King of Swords. So okay, in this week, everybody but Earth will understand what it means to be air. It's going to be interesting. Oh my gosh. The Devil. 8 of Wands. 6 of Wands. Temperance. The Moon. And King of Wands. Oh, we have everything here. So I think all elements are represented. You're sort of like getting more balanced. But again, there is like this kind of understanding about something. Was there a third party? Is somebody really messing up? It almost like looks to me, guys, you will be actually getting somebody from the past. Maybe even somebody you're divorced with actually expressing their love to you. That person could be Leo. It could be a fire sign. It could be Pisces. It could be Sagittarian. It could be Capricorn. But it could be just like, I really see everything but earth here. Water, I see fire, and I see earth. I see actually all signs. It could be a possibility. But some of them are really coming in strongly with the energies of... You guys have been dealing with codependency, some of you. You have been really working very hard to resolve this. And you have been very victorious. So somebody who is coming from the past is not going to be able to get through. You kind of really got it. And it's kind of like really weird. Sometimes past comes back to check us out. It's just like we are asked many times in life, what is 2 and 2 is 4. We have learned it in grade 1. But what's up, Safi? This is not edible. We have learned it in a grade 1, but it's going to repeat throughout our life, not so much to kind of mock us, just sort of like, hey, it's a lesson we have learned. And this is how easy it's going to be feeling for you. You're going to really feel you're going to give yourself acknowledgement that you have actually resolved that situation. This is a really good card. This is a card of victory. So again, you have like those two sixes. It was that soulmate kind of energy, very karmic soulmate energy over here. Something that left you kind of like really hollow, maybe linger. Maybe you have been dealing with somebody who had some kind of vices, alcohol, drugs, that kind of stuff, because the devil talks about that. But this can be simply an ex who kind of left an impact on you of some sort. It can be somebody you divorced as well. But there's going to be some kind of communication, or you can even open up a old love letter and it's going to click in you of that kind of sort. You see, the Temperance is really kind of the angel that talks about, okay, so let's set this difference aside and let's see what we have in common, and let's see what we can kind of like merge together. Temperance is a really good energy. Temperance is that energy where, I don't know, like you see, there's like something else. It doesn't look like a sun to me. It more looks like a volcano of some kind of sort. It's a kind of like saying this is something that is finally the right time and the right place and the right person and the right situation. It's like check, 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 check. The stars are aligning. Right, Abby? But the Moon card is sort of like a little bit of the wrench in the system, unless you're dealing with Pisces. It's telling me that you are again facing certain kind of shadows. And just like with the devil, there is like sort of like not too much of a shadow. You totally know you're not treated properly. You totally know something is wrong in the situation. Here, you're not so sure. You know, like when you tap in the dark in the moonlight, you kind of like see things that are really not there. There is a leaf that is kind of like trembling in the wind, but you are seeing, you know, a bug that kind of like bothers you. And it's kind of like that kind of a thing. Usually you have the dog and a coyote over here for a reason, conscious, subconscious, kind of like that kind of comes together. And the moon also is sort of like the sun, even if you really look at it really closely. It's kind of like some clarity still needs to kind of be resolved. Maybe you're going to be talking to your ex-partner and kind of understand their fears, understand what they were going through it. This is going to be very, I would say, self-therapy week or therapy week. You guys are going to get some kind of like big breakthrough. But not everything is going to surface, but quite a bit of it to make you feel very pleased. And Safi, stop eating this, and there will be lots of possibility for some kind of like hot sex. And very kind of like romantic and very passionate at the same time. So earth, so water, oh my gosh, you have a really, really good week. Safi is just rearranging my table over here. Let me see. Pisces here. Can somebody tell me where I can get beautiful sad pics of love? Oh, come on, sweetie. No, no, don't go for the sad pics of love. Don't, even if you're suffering, if you're brokenhearted, just watch comedies. Just go in a different direction. So this is what happens when air is advising water, and water is going like, what the heck is wrong with you? So which one is the first one? Cancer. Oh, look at this. Cancer already got Page of Cups. Okay, Cancer, you guys are going to be hot, hot, hot. You're going to get some love offer. Well, I can see it here. It could be old, it could be new. Let me just get another one, because this is like your birthday month. Oh boy. Guys, go on Plenty of Fish, go on Match, go on OkCupid. This is going to be the week where you can actually really meet somebody really important. This is a lovely water energy, lovely, you know, let's meet energy, lovely, oh, this is going somewhere energy. Mind you, it's still a potential, but both cards are really talking about the same thing. You might also meet somebody who is Pisces, and hence the moon is kind of like probably talking over here, somebody who can be soft and gentle and a little bit shy, but still it's going to be really kind of like nice mellow energy that's going to really fit your temperament really, really well. Hi, Connie. So it's going to be really, really, really interesting. So Scorpio is next. Scorpio. Scorpio. What's in for oh my gosh, Scorpio. I didn't even say the word. King of Rods. There we get. there we get this like repeat. And then we have the Fool reversed, Knight of Cups reversed. You see, you're actually almost going to tell somebody, you have been foolish to lose me. I actually literally heard those words. That kind of like, no, I don't have spirits. I hope nobody is whispering to me. But sort of like it just came through clairaudient, as they say, right? Nine of Cups, you're not taking it. It could be somebody, fire sign, coming through for you, and you're just going to find this kind of like very foolish energy. You're not trusting this person anymore. You're not trusting their advances. You kind of like maybe still want to discover some details about that. There was like something that has been non-committal, something that has been very, very sloppy in the situation. Absolutely. You're very guarded. You're kind of breaking up with them. Or there is a breakup here with somebody, guys. I hope you're not on the receiving end, and I don't think you are, because you're also having the Sun. You're sort of coming up on top. Even if somebody breaks up with you or you break up with someone, you're going to be in a really positive mode. Kind of like maybe there could be two kind of people you have, and hence I'm seeing kind of like this mix of energy. One person really needs to go, another person stays. Or this is sort of like reaching this complete clarity about the situation, sort of like you're seeing situation eye to eye. You're kind of like really telling this person and having this energy, because that's why probably King of Swords is here as well. You guys have options, but not necessarily that you want to kind of treat it as options, because one person maybe was an option in the past, but there's no longer an option, but for some reason they're like resurfacing in this period of time. So you're going to handle it really well. I think you guys at this stage, you're more focused, marriage, kids, commitments. I want somebody who's going to hold my hand when I'm old, and sort of like, even though kind of like you're saying sex is great, but something is coming. It's kind of interesting. Clearance is coming kind of like over there. I mean, the moon is resolved here with the Sun. There is complete clarity in the situation. And Pisces. And Pisces. 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 Boy, I have to go back and read all this conversation. Looks like you guys are having a great time, and while I'm at work. I'm good. Yes, I invited you. I love you. Thank you so much for showing up. You're bringing luck to every element, and you're bringing luck to Pisces now. Do they need luck? Are you going to bring that luck to them? Huh? Yes. Come on, let's check Pisces. See, there is my little fur ball. Come on, Safi. Come on, come. Come, show your face. You're just showing them you're behind. Mind you, this is like the biggest acknowledgement from a cat when they show you they're behind. Right? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Look. 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 It's just like, you can imagine seeing this on a big television. Like all you see is like a cat behind. Lovely. Kiss my ass, right? So, Pisces. 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 And we have another 6. That was a karmic soulmate. You Pisces are simply going to rest the whole week. Look at this energy of give and take, and sort of like understanding that equilibrium. You know, what is the right thing for you, and definitely you came through over here. You really need to spend lots of rest and lots of stabilization in this week that is coming up. Mind you, looks like you'll be flirting with Cancer as well, so you have to decide which way you want it. Do you want to flirt, or do you really want to relax? Because this is kind of like, usually when I see this card, it tells me you're kind of like turning off your phone. Like what was this lady that was saying, where can I find, like, I mean, you know, love messages or something? Kind of like really just want to be on your own, very kind of like introverted situation, but you are still going to be in a good situation. It's kind of like movement forward that I see over here. Is, look, he's actually keeping this. You have something to give, and before you do, I think you're really acknowledging maybe somebody who is coming back over here is kind of like really going to trigger some processes in you, and you will just withdraw. Let me just grab one more card to kind of like really figure it out. Let me see, Pisces, one more card. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Jeffy. Sapphire. Where is my sapphire? Do you prefer sapphire or Sapphy? Sapphire? Okay, sorry. I like your nickname. Let's see, one more card for Pisces. But Pisces, look, you actually are doing lots of thinking, and you're kind of like maybe being withdrawn because you're trying to figure out a new system. Ace of Pentacles, I love this card. So I don't know if you're hooking up with Cancer. As I see it in their profile, it's going to be something really long lasting. It's going to be really based on give and take. It's going to be really based on, hey, you know, I'm going to take this is mine, and you can do this for me. It's going to be lovely. I really like this ace, right? This ace is like a promising longevity. Like, there is love, there is friendship, there is like this like gateway to something. And let's kind of like face challenges together. So sort of like maybe you'll have to sort of go in meditative mode to kind of like clarify certain things. But definitely lovely actually for everybody. It looks like Scorpio is going to have the most activity in it, but Cancer is just going to be in a lovey-dovey mode, and Pisces could be a little bit of kind of leave me alone, I have to figure myself out, and then start moving forward. So hope, you know, this was kind of really beneficial for everybody. Who is troll alert in here? What happened? What did I miss, guys? Well, moderators, you can actually kick everybody out who is creating mess here. Don't know what happened. Didn't see anything. What happened? Thank you, everybody, for being here. Look at this. I see 1:11 on the elapsed time for this chat, and it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, you know, it's good to see all the elements, because if you really look your natal chart, we have all of that, and also we have sort of the houses we are going through. So kind of like happens. Somebody repeated my quote in a good way, in a bad way. Oh, 30, my videos compromise something. Oh, good job, Dean. Should I block this person? Oh, let's do this. How do I block it? Remove. There we go. Done. Good job, Dean. Good job, Dean. That's good reaction too, because like if we allow these people kind of go in the system, then it's going to interfere. Just like pretty nice group that we actually have here. So nothing gets past Cancer, Libra. Good for you. Good action. Libra was like, just like what you saw, like really cutting things off. Like, let's move forward. So thank you, everybody, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me for my morning Saturday coffee. I actually have to work today on karmic soulmates, on twin flame readings for, I'm hoping to do all three, but I don't know if I'll have energy for it. Pisces, Aries, and Taurus, that's all that's left. It's really exhausting, so I'm going to have another coffee, and then I'm going to roll up my sleeves and start working. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lati. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you, moderators, for helping again. And if you can, guys, later, just like put a stamp on it, I would greatly appreciate it. Wish you all a wonderful week, and if you can, later in the week, just drop in and just leave a comment just to see how it's going for you. All the best. Love you guys. Have a great week. I'm going to leave you music for a few more seconds, so if you really want to talk and chat, you can kind of wrap it up. I think you have a minute of it. Love you. What? You want to say hi to everybody? Come. You want me to feed you? You want me to feed you? Okay, let me feed you. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here again today. See you next week. Love you.